Are you hungry?
Give me something good.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Görgött. Today, again, we're gonna cook something from one of Andreas Caminada's cookbooks. There's a lot of good inspiration in there, and it's char with a potato and buttermilk espuma with some chives and fried onions, or deep fat fried onions. But before we have a look at what we have here on the board, as always, please support the channel if you haven't done so yet by clicking the subscribe button and checking the bell icons to get notifications when new content comes online. But now, let's have a look. So we have our char, kind of the star of the show. We have some potatoes, floury potatoes, so that's the ones you use for mash to get kind of a nice consistency. We have about 50 grams of butter, 50 milliliters of cream, about 100 milliliters of buttermilk, some salt, some chives. These are the crispy onions that have been deep fat fried. And we need some neutral oil and some pepper. That's basically it. But I'll first show you how I did these. First thing we need to do with the onions is obviously peel them. We don't have to keep them in whole rings because we obviously not making onion rings, we're making kind of onion crumble. And the easiest way is just to cut them in half, peel off the outer layer. And once we've done that, I'll show you how to cut them. They are peeled, and now we want, like, I would say somewhere between 3 and 5 millimeters. And we just cut them all up like that. We're done cutting them, and now before we flour them, try to get them separated. You don't have to be too careful about it, but it's easier if you separate them now. I separated them. We have a bowl with just normal white flour. Put your onions in there, and you want to coat them in the flour, basically. Make sure everything gets coated. And now we're ready to move over to the stove. So oil is warm, should be around 130 degrees. I don't have a lot of oil, so we're gonna have to do it in batches. As you can see, they're slowly getting brown, but we want them really nice and golden. So a little bit more. I'm happy with that color, so we'll take these, put them on a plate with a paper napkin, and then do the rest of your onions. We have our onions here. I didn't need all of them for this crunch, so I kept some of them as they are. Salt them a bit. Mix it so that the salt goes everywhere. And now we want to make crunch, right? So you can either do like this, and then get your knife out and just chop through it. Takes a little while, but it's worth it. And you can judge yourself how finely you want to kind of chop this up. We want it quite fine. Or yeah, I want it quite fine. And this is not only good for this dish, perfect for hamburgers or hot dogs. But that's how you do it. So not very difficult and goes with a lot of stuff. So make them, and they keep for a while. But now let's start with potato espuma, potato and buttermilk espuma first. First, we peel them, and I put some water on there, some salted water to boil them. Now that they're peeled, we just need to cut them up, and the only reason for that is that they cook faster. And since we're going to mash these up anyways, it doesn't matter what they look like at this point. Just try to get similar pieces so that they cook at more or less the same time. And the water is already boiling. So once we're done with this, we put them in, and then we'll have a look once they're done, how we continue. In they go. It's about 200-250 grams of potatoes. Our potatoes are boiled, so let's just first crush them a bit. You don't have to do that step, but I find it a bit easier. Now, take a container. We can already put our cream, our butter, and our buttermilk in here. And I would just pass this through, just to get it really fine. The finer we get it, the nicer the espuma will be. So that's all of it. I'll make sure that you scrape it off here. And hopefully it lands into your container. There we go. Now just get a spoon and mix this up. The butter should melt nicely. Or even take the whisk. And this is good consistency for the espuma afterwards. Now we have to make sure that it tastes good. I haven't seasoned it at all, just the water for the potatoes. Definitely need salt and a bit of nutmeg. So let's start with the nutmeg. And a good pinch of, or 2 pinches of salt. Let's give it another try. Perfect. Has a bit of sourness from the buttermilk. Nice saltness. A little bit of a hint of a nutmeg. Now we'll just warm that up a little bit. And we'll put it into the chiffon, the blower. So this will be the exciting part. I've warmed this up with hot water as well. Just poured it out. And now we'll have to try to pour in the potatoes without spilling too much. Just get a cloth, clean up the small mess, but not a big mess. Did quite well. Put the lid on. And now I've put the oven to 55 degrees because that's what we need for the fish. So I'm going to put this into the oven and that keeps warm like that. We have our fish. We have some salt, some pepper and some neutral oil. And we have some cling film. And we're going to need that to pack the fish into. But first I'll show you what I did to prep the fish. So this is our char. I will clean it up a little bit. It wasn't filleted that nicely, but that sometimes happens. And it's quite easy to clean up. Just try to get underneath the bones. Get that out of the way. Now you have to kind of feel here. You can feel the bones with your finger quite well. Then you just go in with one of these and you pull them. I don't know if you can see that. So let's do that on the whole thing. So I think we managed to get them all. But always double check. Here's 2 more. Those 2. Now I just need to get the skin off. And to get the skin off, what I normally do is I cut down here, but not all the way down. It's a bit finicky. Need to try to get the knife underneath and then get a grab of the skin. And then just follow the skin all the way down. And let's see if we did a good job. Not bad. So that's how we prepare the fish. Now it's ready. And as you can see here, the fishmonger wasn't at his best. This is probably the nicest one, so we'll do that by itself. Here you can see he got a bit carried away and cut through it. And here you can see he, injured it a bit too. We'll do them all, but I'll serve this one for you because it's the nicest. So first, put a bit of oil. Make sure that the oil goes everywhere. And now on this side, we already pepper a bit. And salt a bit as well. Then we take this fillet, put it with the side down that we already seasoned. And I will season this side as well. Just a light hint of black pepper and some salt. And now what we'll have to do is to close this in. I'll take the bottom sheet off. I make a little package like this. Now this goes into the oven, 55 degrees. And we need to should take about, they're very thin, so probably, 6, 7, 8 minutes. And turn them a couple of times. So turn them every 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes. But I'll do the rest, and then I'll put them in the oven. And once you see me again, they will be ready. The fish is in, doing its thing. If you stuck with me this far, there must have been something you like. So don't hold back. Hit that thumbs up button below. Now you need 2 of these cartridges for this espuma. And shake it again. Now I've lost the front of this, but it's fine like this too. Get the fish out. Like that. Now for our decoration. Chives. And our wonderful onions. Perfect. Simple, yet quite beautiful. Let's try this. Now the fish is really nice and kind of glassy, translucent. Get everything on there. That's really nice. The nice sourness of the buttermilk really sets this dish apart a bit from a normal potato espuma. And those fried onions really help. Now, this is really an amazing dish. I cannot take credit for it. I'll put the link in the description to this cookbook. I'm not sure if it actually exists in English, but I'll figure it out. And if it does, I'll put the link to both German and English. But that's it for today. And relatively easy starter, but a bit of a wow factor on it. So you can impress your guests with it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. And before you go, don't forget, support the channel, clicking the subscribe button and checking the bell icon. But that's it. Take care. Bye-bye.